Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to the Doctors Are In show here on Psychic Talk Radio Network. And yes, you are at the right place. This is the show where we discuss and take your questions on tarot, numerology, Vedic mantras and practices, as well as anything and everything psychic, spiritual, hypnosis, meditation, energy healing, psychic development, and oh my God, so much more. We will also be taking your calls for free today. We have free mini readings and guidance live on the air. So if you want to talk to us, ask a question, get that mini reading, you want to make sure that you dial our number, which is 714-816-4628, and be sure to press the number 1 so that we know that you want to talk to us. That gets you into the queue. So again, that number is 714-816-4628. And press the number 1. If you've already dialed in and you're sitting there waiting and you definitely know that you want a mini reading or you want to talk to us, then go ahead and press number 1 and it gets you in the queue. I am your host, Dr. Rose, and I love talking about all things psychic. I'm an intuitive certified life coach, and I have a passion for mythology and mantras and meditations and shamanic journeying. Gosh, so many things. And I love to work with divine beings from different traditions. But most importantly, what I absolutely love to do is to take my psychic knowledge and skills and to help others just like you to have a true transformation in your life. So welcome to the show, and thank you for joining me. And I have my fabulous co-host, Dr. Dax, who is the founder and executive producer of Psychic Talk Radio. He is also founder and president of the Tarot Guild, which is now in its 16th year. He's been a radio personality for 10 years now, and he's a certified tarot master, numerologist, life coach, and professional hypnotist, and he just about can do everything. And here he is, Dr. Dax. Hey, Dr. Dax, how are you doing? It's great to be back on the air with you.
Great, Rose. Yes, of course, as always, we love our Fridays. And I was going to ask you, how are you holding up, and how's Mom?
Oh, well, Mom is doing great. She's been, she was at a skilled nursing facility for 2 months because of a blood infection. I'm just letting everybody know, all the callers know and whatnot. And it happened at the beginning of this year, and it was very frightening for me and my two brothers. But we got through it. She's much, much better. She's doing very well. And it's just been really interesting how this year has been going, so far for all of us. We are holding up pretty well, only going out to stores, for essential things like groceries and, other stuff that we need. Other than that, we still go out for drives. We can go outside. You just don't want to be around people, or you stay that 6 feet away kind of thing going on.
Sure.
One of the things that I do is I try to stay up on my meditations and programs. I've been recently doing I talked about this on the last show about the astral projection program that Steve Jones does. And so I've been doing that every day, and that's really kind of been keeping me very level. I do that in the morning times, and it's a lot of fun. I've even had a partial astral projection, which was really interesting. But other than that, we're holding up pretty well. I tried to stay away from watching too much news. My mother loves to watch news, and she'll watch it for several hours during the day. But I don't always join her.
It's fear mongering. There's way too much fear going on.
I know.
Yep. And my card of the day today actually talks to that. And we'll get to that in just a minute. I was going to mention, though, it's actually interesting, the timing, how your mom got out of the skilled nursing facility before this really hit full on. And so, we could be thankful about that, because she could still be in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
that's,
and they're not allowing people to come visit their loved ones in the skilled nursing facilities. So you can imagine what that does for people, especially when they've been used to having people come or even take them out and do that. They won't let them do that anymore. Only the employees, and that's it.
Yeah, and so she could still be in there. It's not just the separation. It's also the fact that it's like an incubator for spreading diseases, hospitals, nursing facilities, rehab facilities, so it was perfect timing. It was great that she got out before this, really hit like that. So I just wanted to mention that. And I mentioned the card of the day. I got the Strength card. And I'm getting a couple of messages from this. I mean, when I pulled this card, I happened to be thinking about the health crisis at the time. And, of course, there's the obvious message of inner strength. So the Strength card typically typically talking about, love conquers all, inner strength, courage, conviction, dynamism, self-control, action, resolve, things like virility, optimism, personal power. So, there's the obvious message that it's talking about we need to persevere, we need to hunker down, we need to tap into our inner strength, and we're just going to be fine. We're going to make it through this. There's another level of meaning. The Strength card is card number 8 of the majors. And 8 is the number of abundance in numerology. So there's another message coming through that when we use our inner strength and persevere through this, when we come out the other side, there's actually opportunity for abundance. And, a lot of people are not seeing this. And the reason for that is, as humans, the way we think, we like to put everything in a box and label it. We like to quantify everything. And one of the big things we like to do is we like, when we're giving it a label, some of those labels that we give things is, this is very good, this is very bad.
Right.
And what people don't realize is because we live in a universe that's based on dualism, but that manifests out of the spiritual realm, which is singular. There is no polar opposites. There's no time. All time is happening at the same time. Everything is one. There's not separation. That's why the universe, based on dualism, had to be created in order for us to have separation or imagined separation, let's say, because is it real? A lot of people talk about we live in a holographic universe. And this universe that we think of as reality that we call the physical universe, it gives us linear time, and it gives us these structures, everything from quasars and galaxies to, your house across the street or people or, everything in the physical universe. And it's so that we can have experiences, because if everything's happening at the same time and if everything is one, experience doesn't exist. So that's why the universe, as we know it, actually was created. All right. And the point here, the reason I'm setting this up, Dr. Rose, is because what people don't realize is that nothing arises on one pole or the opposite pole, positive or negative. No event is all bad. No event is all good. Right. So if if you're labeling something like I'm having a great day, there is something on the other side of the coin that you're just not seeing. And if you're labeling something that it is really bad, you're not seeing the other side of the coin. You're not seeing the silver lining. You know that saying that, you know, every dark cloud has a silver lining? It's true.
Right.
It's true. And it's not just a little silver lining. It's like a whole opposite side that's positive. And I can take any major event that we are all aware of that most people would label as negative, and I can show you all the positive things that happen because of it. This health crisis is no different. By the way, something else that I've discussed, I call it the Temprian principle, that the truth is the middle path, the narrow middle path down the center between two opposites. And part of that Temprian principle is that if you're not seeing, if you're labeling it one side, you're not seeing the other side. Another part of the dynamic that I discovered is that the larger the separation, the bigger the opposite side is. In other words, the more bad a situation is, the more you label it negative. You know, you have a semi-bad thing, you stub your toe, versus 9/11 happens. You see what I mean? Okay, so the bigger the difference, the larger the event, the more you're labeling it as really, really, really bad, the bigger the opposite side is. The more opportunity for abundance there is, the greater things that can come out of it. And so that's the message that popped in my head, you know, from the card, is the dual message of everybody, we got to hold on to our, you know, inner strength, use our innate personal power, and we're all going to make it through this. The other message is that there is opportunity for vast abundance and improvement, even though most of us are looking at this as a horrific happening, and you know, the economy, and everybody's losing their job, and oh my God, it's so incredibly bad. And whenever you get to that point and you're labeling something like that, you need to start looking for the other side, because there are opportunities here. I was talking, you know, I do hypnotherapy, and I was talking to some of potential clients about quitting smoking, and I said, this is the best time to do it, because we're all stuck at home. So you're not out at the bar, you're not hanging out with your friends. You know, the triggers that we would normally have, like for a lot of, you know, when I used to smoke back in the day, I never smoked in my car, but a lot of people do. And so getting in the car is a trigger to light your cigarette. Going to a restaurant, trigger to light your cigarette. You're going to the club, you're going to the bar, you're having a drink, trigger to smoke. You're hanging out with your friends who also smoke, trigger to smoke.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Yeah.
We don't have all those triggers now. So this is a fantastic opportunity to quit smoking. Here's another example. We have all this time. You're stuck at home. You can go on Udemy or a dozen other websites, and you can enroll in courses. Take something that's going to enrich your life. Take some courses where you're going to, after the crisis is over, or even before the crisis is over, through the internet, you could start a whole new business. By the end of this, you could be doing 10 times better than you were before this crisis hit, you see. So that's the message coming through today, what I'm getting. What do you think, Rose?
No, I absolutely agree with you on that. It's that, yes, it is horrific and it's scary in a lot of ways. but there is
Sure.
an upside to it. So here are two examples. One is that they have said because of what happened, this began in China, in the country of China, and because they had to really shut down a lot of things. Do you know that the air has cleared up over that country? And they don't have the kind of rules that we have about certain emissions and stuff. I mean, of course, that's been changing here with the different administration.
They use coal and everything like you wouldn't believe.
That's right. They said the airs are clean over. They could see that from space. Okay. The other good thing, too, is that there are jobs that are out there, folks. And just to let you know, those of us who are in the United States, because, this can be broadcast all over the world. I don't know what's happening in other countries. But here in the United States, they actually said what we call the gig economy. So, the people that do the grocery shopping for other people, those kind of businesses, or Uber or Lyft and things of that nature, that they are looking to hire, I think thousands more people, because now everybody is doing a lot of delivery, grocery shopping, because these days it's hard to go, if you're looking for a certain product, you got to get out there early in the morning, stand in line for hours just to get a package of toilet paper. I mean, that's how serious it is in many of these stores. And by the time you get there, if you're lucky that they have something for you, you can get it. You know what I'm saying? Or not. So now there are people who are using things like Instacart is really popular, in the United States, where they actually grocery shop for you. Now, it takes days to get it now, but they need to hire more grocery shoppers. And so there are people who are doing, and what is it, the other one? What is it, DoorDash and the restaurant deliveries. People are still wanting to eat restaurant food. It doesn't have to be every day, but they still want to have that kind of, food at home or whatnot. And so there are companies that are still delivering, and they're looking to hire thousands of people. So if you're looking for something, that might be the thing. I'm not saying that that's if you were in some kind of high corporation earning over $100,000 a year and flying on private jets and stuff like that. Yeah, doing the gig economy may not be that great, but there are a lot of benefits to it. I think about the other thing. I think about businesses. Like there are a lot of businesses that have had to close because of this, especially businesses that aren't online much. And those businesses will really, unfortunately, will suffer. But there's so much opportunity for other businesses to be online. There are. All this stuff is being set up. I'm not saying the online thing is forever, because we're human beings. We're social. We want to get out there at some point. After this wave, but after they figure out the vaccine and all this kind of stuff, we'll be able to go out again. But this is a wonderful opportunity. Most people are staying at home. You can start your YouTube channel. You can do your business off of that, or Facebook Lives, or whatever it is. You can really make a difference because people are online now. I mean, they're spending time with each other, but a lot of people are spending more time online. So this is a wonderful opportunity in so many ways. And, it's not to ignore the tragic parts of it, but,
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you have to realize that there is all this abundance that's actually available if we just notice and take heed and look. For instance, I know that you teach at Berkeley and you're teaching, teleclass.
Yeah.
What I'm noticing with a lot of my colleagues who are also therapists, hypnotists, and so forth, is that if they weren't doing sessions via Skype, Zoom, telephone before, they are now. And so there's a lot of businesses that could operate via the web that they just aren't yet, or have never thought about if they even could. This is the opportunity to start retooling for that, to if you don't know the ins and outs, you can take a class, you can watch YouTube videos, learn how to do it, and then you can start seeing clients via Zoom or via Skype. And what's going to happen is after the crisis is over, you might actually find out that I actually like working this way better than I do with my one-on-one clients. Not only that,
that's right.
With one, when I say one-on-one, I mean I should have phrased that in-person clients. And
right.
after this, and what you might discover is, because it might actually be a big boon to your business because of the fact that when you talk about your in-person one-on-one clients that come into your office, you're limited to the people that are in your local area or who can drive or fly in. Okay, so you're extremely limited, whereas working online, I could be doing a session with somebody in Germany and then an hour later with somebody in Mexico and an hour later with somebody in the United Kingdom, and then, I'm in Tucson, I could be doing a session with somebody in New York City an hour later. So you have access to billions of potential clients instead of just the roughly 500,000 that live in your city, or for example,
and not to mention globally. There's a global potential too. Yeah. It's
billions that are online and growing every single year as well. Anyway, so that's the card of the day that I got. We got a whole lot of callers on here. What do you say? I know you have the mantra of the week. Dr. Rose, if you're new to our show, Dr. Rose does the mantra of the week every week. Before we do that, let's take a call or two, see who's out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the first caller's waiting the longest. Looks like it's area code 256. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Kimberly, and I'm calling from Tucker, Georgia.
Kimberly,
hi, Kimberly.
How you doing?
I'm well. How are y'all?
We're doing good.
Oh, hanging in there. Hanging in there. What's it like in Georgia with the health crisis and everything?
Well, it's a stay-at-home order. We can go out for essential things. It's a shelter in place for the older people. But school is closed down. Businesses are closed. Only essential businesses are open.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Same as over here. So it's open lines, and we're also doing mini readings. So whatever you want to chat about, go right ahead, Kimberly.
So I guess my question is, where do you what do you see for me for like the next 3 months?
Let's see here. Okay. I'll see if I can get anything on that.
Okay.
Typically, on the radio show, we don't do general readings. We do very specific questions.
Well, I mean, I can ask a specific question.
Well, I don't mind, doing it. It's just that on the radio show, we only have a couple of minutes with each caller, and so we tell everybody to have a specific question so we can quickly answer it and get to the next caller. General readings take much longer to do, so I don't know if you have a specific burning question.
Yeah, just career change. Just a career change. Is that specific enough or no?
Yeah, that's okay. As long as it's at least an area. Because when you're looking at somebody's life, there's so much. When I do a general reading, I pull several cards for each area of your life, and it's just, it takes 40 minutes to go through that. Career change. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so you got 3 major arcana cards out of 5 cards. I did a 5-card yes, no, because I wanted to see, is this going to happen? And you got, these 3 majors, which are big. They're not only yes cards; they're big yes cards, and a couple of no's. But it's very much leaning towards this is going to happen. And what I'm getting is that it's going to require a leap of faith. You might be actually jumping into something that you haven't done before, not your normal type of company or type of work that you've done before. The Fool card is showing up and really pointing towards that. And the Fool card is leaning towards leaning into basically the Justice card. And the Justice card can mean a lot of different things. It's a card of balance and harmony and things like that, arbitration. But it's connected a lot with the law. Okay? So that could be paralegal work. That could be working in a law office. I mean, there's a lot of things that could be. But I just get a strong feeling that it has something to do with that. And I don't know if you've ever done that before, worked in law or something connected to the courts or connected to law or something like that. But I get a feeling that that's what it is. And then the Fool card is facing the Justice card, and it's like he's about to leap off of the cliff. That's why we always call it, with the Fool card, it's new beginnings and taking a leap of faith and usually jumping into the unknown. In other words, something that you haven't done before, and he's about to jump off the cliff right into the Justice card. And that's why I get this strong feeling that it has something to do with that. So, it looks like, let's see, for timing I'm getting 7. It's about a 7-week span of time. Now, I'm not saying it happens at 7 weeks. I'm saying that somewhere in the next 7 weeks. Okay, how quickly it happens is how quickly you focus on it, manifest it, draw it into your life, okay? So somewhere in the next 7 weeks, roughly 2 months, I think you mentioned, 2 or 3 months, and it fits perfectly that, it's gonna be somewhere, it could be within the next month, or it could be as much as 1.5 to 2 months. So somewhere in that time frame. Yep. And so now that you know or have a hint, now you can start putting those feelers out. You can start looking like, okay, what have I been missing? That there is, this other opportunity, and it relates somehow. And start talking to your friends and family, and mention what I said. Mention things connected to legal, to the courts, to law offices, to lawyers, to paralegal, and because when you talk to other people, they might come up with something like, oh, yeah, Cousin Fred is a lawyer, or Aunt Trudy is a paralegal, or, just things will just pop up, and you'll start seeing connections. And when you focus, the more you focus on it, the more the universe is going to put people, places, and things in your path to help you get to this, career change possibility. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Thanks for the call, Kimberly. We got to move on. Got a bunch of callers here.
Thank you. All right.
And
thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I hope that helps you out. Hey, everybody, we've still got a lot of room on the caller queue, so give us a ring at 714-816-4628. When you get through, remember to press number 1 on your dial pad. So we know you want to be live on air with us. Let me give out that number one more time, Rose. 714-816-4628. So that was a good call to start off with, huh?
Yeah, that was wonderful.
And it's interesting because I got very specific information, and honestly, I don't always, because when we're doing these types of quick readings, we only have a few minutes with each caller. Sometimes it just doesn't. Something's blocking it, or it just doesn't come through clear. I get bits and pieces. I don't get the whole picture. This was just Boom,
Crystal.
there it is. Yeah, and I think part of it had to do with Kimberly actually did have a burning question, but instead, and I think a lot of people do this, Rose. I think a lot of people go read my cards, or they'll go,
right.
What's gonna happen in the next 2 or 3 months, and
right.
I'm not psychic. I read cards. I'm not psychic, and there are psychic readers that have their tarot cards laid out, Rose. They're not reading the cards, folks. If you're able to actually be a fly on the wall on one of those readings, and the psychic's giving them great information and great advice, and great stuff's coming through. But if you listen to what they're saying and you look at the cards they're laying on the table, those cards have nothing to do with what they're talking about. They don't really even need the cards. It's a prop because people like it. They like looking at the nice fancy pictures, Whereas an actual tarot reader like myself, we're more like a life coach. And you have questions, we ask the tarot, we give you answers, which sometimes leads to new questions, and we pull more cards. And see, that's what I do over 40 minutes to an hour with a typical client, is we're asking questions, we're getting answers, and we're able to refocus the questions, get deeper, which brings up new questions, which means we pull more cards and things like that. And that's how tarot works, at least for me, okay, as a reader. That's how it works for me, So when Kimberly switched from what's going to happen over the next 3 months to her specific question, notice we got a really specific answer from the tarot, which is going to help her so much more and be more empowering than if I would pull a few cards for each of the next 3 months and say something like, well, I see you're still sitting at home. And this looks pretty good. This one over here, not so much. And I'm giving all this general information because typically when I pull cards for somebody that wants me to give them answers what's going on over the next 3 months, the tarot tends to give me general information and not as strong. Anyway, and the reason why I'm bringing this all up is that, it's interesting. We have a lot of people listening to the show that are tarot readers, and a lot of them are learning tarot and need to know this information, but also for the callers, so that when we pick up, have a specific question. Don't be afraid to ask the question, or what's really bothering you, or what's really burning, or what you really need to know. Don't be afraid, okay? All righty. And we still got room on the switchboard, 714-816-4628. Hey, before we do the mantra of the week, let's take one more call here. Let's see, who's been waiting the longest, Dr. Rose? It looks like area code 917. Hello, caller, are you there? What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me? It's Sharona from New York City.
Oh, my God, I know that voice. It's Dr. Sharona Rapsik, one of our hosts here on the network. Oh, my God. Hi, Sharona. How are you doing, with the health crisis and everything? You all healthy and happy there?
I am trying to stay healthy and positive, and, I'm sending love and a virtual hug to everyone from the Big Apple here in New York City.
Yeah. I know a lot of things have had to, change around and stuff. In fact, you had to postpone your last show, but I know you're coming back on the 12th. For those that don't know, Sharona's show is Magic Universe with Sharona. And on her next Magic Universe show, you're going to have actually Crystal Reiki Master Mary Brown on again, because you had her recently, and you're going to have her back. I heard you wanted to go more into talking about crystal grids and such.
Yes. I am all of my listeners, they loved Mary, and they said, we want to learn more. So I am very happy and lucky that Mary Brown will be back with me as my guest. So we'll be talking more about crystal grid.
Sunday the 12th?
Yes.
Awesome stuff. So what else did you want to chat about?
Well, I've been, besides keeping myself healthy, I've been taking courses online. I'm getting my yoga teacher certification.
Wow.
And you inspired me to study to be a hypnotherapist. So I am taking a line-on course. Yes, so I'm putting the time to good use. And, of course, I love tarot. I've been, reading, and it's amazing. I got a really amazing reading yesterday. Do you mind if I share it with your listeners?
Oh, that'd be great, right, Rose?
Absolutely.
What was it about, this reading?
Well, I just did I wanted to find out, what is going to happen to us all with this crisis that we're undergoing. And as you know, I just shuffled the deck. There was, there's 78 cards in the deck, and I just did a random 3-card reading. And the cards I got were just so spot on that, even me as a longtime reader, I was totally blown away by how accurate they were. And I guess everyone wants to skip through to the ending. The ending says that the situation, there's help on the way, and everything's going to be changing soon. So, what it's about is, we're feeling very isolated. We're feeling very defensive. We're scared. But the card that ended the 3-card reading for the future was the Knight of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords is a knight, and he's galloping in, and he brings with him the energies of thought and action. So I see it that help is on its way, and we're going to get through this. And the other thing with that particular night, it's very rapid movement. So it's I see the situation kind of ending soon. I don't think that this is going to be something that's going to take a long time. That it's going to be resolved soon. So I was very encouraged by that. And the other thing that I do is numerology. So the first card that I got was a 9. It was the 9 of Wands. And then I got a 4 card. And then I read the Knight of Swords as a 2 card. So when you add that up, you get 6, right, Dax? And that has to do, you just need to get back in harmony and balance. One reason that we got ourselves into this situation is everything got out of balance, and we need to look at the word harmony, where you're kind of, we are part, the whole world is like an organism or an orchestra. Let's go with that, since harmony is a word that's used with music. And we've kind of gotten that we were all singing a different tune. So I kind of see the whole world as we're coming in tune, we're singing the same note, and we're this whole thing of harmony. So I was very happy to get that, and I'm very happy that you allowed me to share that with all of your listeners.
I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you brought this up. I did want to tell everybody that tomorrow on our Tarot Today radio show that I do with my co-host Mary Brown, the same Mary Brown that's going to be on your show on the 12th, she says she thinks she feels like she's doing a press junket, or not a junket, but a press like she's going around to, like doing all these shows and stuff like that. On tomorrow's show, we are going to actually be looking at this. We have a segment of our show. We don't do it every week. Typically, it's the last show of the month. We do the Psychic Spin episode, or not episode, but segment of the show, the Psychic Spin segment, where we take something that is in the news or a current event or something that, most of us have our minds on, and we take a look at it from a psychic point of view, thus the Psychic Spin, because the talking heads out there in the news and everything, they put their spin on things, and they're generally, just giving information what they think they know, whereas we can ask the tarot and occasionally, do numerology on these events. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to be asking questions of the tarot in relation to the health crisis tomorrow. Now, on our groups on Facebook, we have the Psychic Talk Radio group. We also have the Tarot Guild group. The Tarot Guild group actually has, we're coming up on 6,000 members. The last few weeks, actually longer than that, I would say the last few months, we've been growing at a rate of 10, 20 a day or more. I just accepted like another 16 new members between yesterday and today when I woke up this morning. It's incredible. And we'd love for you to come over and join the Tarot Guild group if you're into tarot, numerology, and join the Psychic Talk Radio group if you're into our shows. And on both of those groups, I actually have a post that is specifically, I have one post advertising tomorrow's show about the Psychic Spin episode on the COVID-19, but also we have another post on there where in the comments of the post, you can put in your questions. And if we get some cool questions, we'll include those in addition to our own, Mary's and my questions that we're asking the tarot about the virus and the health crisis and so forth. So go over to our group or both groups, whichever you want to do, Tarot Guild, Psychic Talk Radio. Join the groups and, find one of those posts and post your questions in the comments. So I'm really glad you brought that up, Sharona. I did want to mention, I don't want to give everything away. I want to wait till tomorrow's show, obviously, right, Sharona? But I did want to mention that I have to agree with you. The whole virus infections, from any type of virus, they're all on a bell curve. And in China, they saw the bell curve happen over a 2 to 3 month period. When I did some various readings on various questions, I ended up getting timing cards, and I kept getting 6. It was 6 weeks is what I was getting. So we've already gone a certain amount, with this, starting with, I forget, the first case was, the end of January, something like that, the one in Washington. And at the time I was doing the readings, which I can't remember when that was, either like a few days ago. I don't think it was a whole week ago. I think it was a few days ago. At that time, it was saying 6 more weeks before it fizzles. Now, that's not to say, everywhere in the country, everything's going to be great, in a month and a half. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, the really hard-hit areas, parts of California, Washington,
New York,
of course, but also these emerging ones like New Orleans, Louisiana, where they had, just done Mardi Gras. And, millions of people came into the city, and guess what? They were all, shoulder to shoulder and passing the disease between or the virus between each other. Yeah. So that's another flashpoint. And it may take, longer, many weeks, months, who knows, for that to all clear up. And certainly for the country as a whole, it's going to take months, if not a year or two maybe, to clear up. But I'm talking about the specific pathogen and the bell curve. Mm-hmm. And especially for the majority of the United States, I'm in Tucson. Arizona's not hard hit. Most of the country is not hard hit. And so I'm doing the reading for myself from my point of view here in Tucson. So the information coming through was for me about where I am, not the entire country. However,
right.
I still think it's a positive thing that it looks like we're going to see the bell curve, has gone up, and we're going to see the bell curve go down, and I call it fizzle, when it fizzles out. It's not that there won't be cases. It's not that people won't still get infected. It's not that people won't still die, but it's going to, for the most of us, fizzle out, and life is going to go back to relative normalness to some extent over the next 6 weeks. That's what I'm getting, at least for the not hard-hit areas. I'm not talking New York City proper here. I'm talking Tucson, Arizona, and New Mexico, and Colorado, and Wyoming, and Iowa, and parts of Texas, El Paso and Albuquerque. Where's Mary? Amarillo. I really think that a lot of the country, the bell curve is going to end for us, at least in the next 6 weeks. So just wanted to put that out there. But there'll be more tomorrow. So be sure to tune in tomorrow's show, same bat time, same bat channel, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. There we go. So thanks for calling in, Sharona.
It's always a pleasure. Loved everyone. I love you all.
Love you too. Thank you so much.
Can't wait for your next show, and enjoy the rest of your weekend, Sharona. And look, Dr. Rose, Sharona is doing exactly what we're doing. You mentioned, you're doing various courses. I've gone back to some of my courses, and I'm retaking them, and I'm getting I'm getting much more into, I've taken courses and done, Reiki and energy healing and things like that, but I've put it on the back burner the last, few years, and I'm coming back full circle again. I've been telling people like yourself and Mary and Sharona and other people on the network that I'm really close with, I've been telling you guys how I'm trying to embrace my life. My life path is the master number 33. It also reduces to 6, but I'm a master number life path, and master number 33 is the master teacher, master healer number, and I've always embraced the teaching part. I teach my tarot course and all these other things, but I'm trying to embrace the master healer part of my master number 33 life path, and I already made the move back into life coaching and hypnosis, NLP, all of which, and EFT, which all of which is healing. EFT actually is energy healing, and now I'm also moving into other energy healing that I want to start doing over 2020. So I'm doing it, you're doing it, Sharona's doing it. Folks, just take advantage of this time. Take advantage of the opportunity that this actually is. It's actually an opportunity, And what it requires, Rose, is, you know this from NLP, reframing. We have to reframe it from, oh, this is so terrible and blah, blah, blah. And I had to do it too. Let me tell you, when this first hit, Rose, especially when they announced they were locking down Tucson for at least 2 weeks, there was a good week and a half where I was in a fog, in a malaise, except for doing my couple of radio shows on Friday and Saturday. I was curled up in my PJs in my bed watching TV, eating bonbons, eating chocolates and just like comfort food and I was in this total malaise and fog. And then I had to reframe it for myself that, okay, if I shift the frame, then I notice that, oh, wait, this is a vast opportunity. I need to start taking advantage of this, So I had to go through it too. I hope you all reframe as well and start looking at what things you can do. It might not be something life-shattering or changing, like starting a whole new business. It could be something as simple as, I got all this time. I can wash the walls in that one room, and I can paint the hallway over there, and I can clean out the closets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, what have you got in store for us for the mantra of the week? We're going to go back to phone calls, folks, in just a couple minutes after Dr. Rose does the mantra of the week. There's still room on the switchboard at 714-816-4628. We'll be going back to calls in just a minute. But what interesting stuff have you got for us today, Dr. Rose?
Well, thank you for asking. And yes, the mantra of today. For those of you who've been following our show, or if you're familiar with Sanskrit mantras, you know that many of them start off with the word Om, O-M, or some people spell it A-U-M, right? And Om is, some people connect it to, if you're familiar with some of the archetypes in India, with Shiva, the one who is represents higher consciousness and whatnot, or sometimes they connect it with Ganesha, the elephant head god. But Om is considered to be a chakra. I'm sorry, chakra. I can't even talk today. Is that right? Chakras? Yes. Is it? Dax, help me, because
that's right.
Is it chakra? Okay. I don't know. It sounded weird to me all of a sudden, like I was saying something wrong. So it's a chakra mantra, actually. They call it a chakra seed mantra. It's a seed sound for what we call the Ajna chakra, which is located in the center of your forehead, which is where the third eye is. Okay? And it represents masculine. I'm sorry. What happens is that, we have energies in our bodies. We have masculine and feminine energies in our body. And what happens when you chant Om is the masculine and feminine energies meet in your third eye center. And this is what Om does. And that's why a lot of mantras begin with Om. Like sometimes if you tell people, just chant clean for love and attraction or just attraction, oftentimes people will say Om and clean because they want to balance out the masculine and feminine energies. So this seed sound contains the principle of unity, right? There is a quality of cosmic intelligence that is associated with the seed mantra. And through meditation on Om, worry is extinguished and the mind becomes serene. Now, what's interesting about this, there are a couple of things that are interesting about this. In the East, Om is also associated with God, or their concept of God, we'll put it that way. And if you've seen pictures of some of the archetypes in India, you'll see a lot of them will have an eye that's turned, like an eye turned to the side in the center forehead. And that's the area where you can, that some people, when they meditate, they focus on that area and it connects them to a higher consciousness, right? You can achieve a higher consciousness when you empower your third eye, is what they say. What was it? The other thing that I wanted to say about this, so I don't know if you guys have seen this, but on Facebook there was a video that was going around for quite a while where this baby, very little baby, right, was crying and, wah, wah, it's just what babies do. Wasn't walking yet. It was, probably just a few months old. And I guess it was the father who was lying next to the child on the bed. And he started chanting Om and just like really elongate, like, oh. And he kept doing that. And, and just within, I would say, a few seconds, the child settled down and just became serene. So it's a very powerful mantra. So I just wanted to provide that for, for people. Om, for those of you who believe in God or the God concept, it is a wonderful mantra to connect with God. It's also a mantra that can help empower or open up your third eye. And what does that mean when you open up your third eye? You begin to, some people will see things if they have that kind of psychic ability, maybe some kind of clairvoyance or something like that. And it helps you to really pay attention to things that are going on in your life. If people are lying to you, if there's deceit or anything like that, you'll really be able to pick up on that. You'll be very centered, very serene, at peace. So that's something to chant. I've actually had an experience some years ago where we were all chanting Om in a group, and it was so serene. We were just kind of doing it, you just roundabout kind of thing, just chanting Om, and it was so like it's almost like everything around us became quiet, And so I highly recommend people chant Om. You can chant Om by itself, or you can precede it with another mantra. Many people do, like if you want to do, some people who are familiar with Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, you can do that. But Om is a wonderful mantra. So that's what my recommendation is for the mantra of the week.
Awesome. That was really, really good. The God mantra.
That's right. Third eye mantra. You could do it that way too.
Yeah.
Some people don't have the concept or don't really relate to the concept of God, and that's fine. It could be the third eye. Yeah.
Absolutely. So before we go back to calls, just real quickly, want to let everybody know some of the things happening here on the network. We've got the Psychic Spin segment on the coronavirus tomorrow on Tarot Today Radio. Mary and I will be back on Saturday, March 28th, and then the next shows are Monday, March 30th. It's actually a doubleheader with Wisdom of the Soul with Janice Fuchs and Compassionate Light, Healing and Guidance with Catherine Hahn. Catherine is doing a show on reclaiming your power. Reclaiming your power. And then it will be April. And we have the first show of April, Dr. Rose, April 3rd.
Nice.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking about living life on purpose, one of our favorite things, as well as always, doing open lines and taking your calls. And then on Saturday, April 4th, it's Mary Brown's new show that she does once a month. It's the first Saturday of the month. The rest of the Saturdays are always Tarot Today Radio. But the first Saturday of the month, which is April 4th, it's There's a Rock for That. And Mary's going to be talking about crystals. On this particular episode, it's malachite, a crystal for this moment. So I have a sneaky suspicion it's going to relate to the health crisis there. And, of course, she always does open lines and readings on that show as well. As we mentioned, Sharona won't be back until the 12th, but Rose and I have invited her to feel free to, pop in on any Friday and hang out with us here. Right, Rose?
Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. So that's what's coming up, and you can always find the upcoming shows at psychictalk.net/upcoming. Also, I forgot to mention in the beginning of the show that our Friday and Saturday shows are always sponsored by the Tarot Guild at thetarotguild.com. We just built a brand new social networking community website. It's 100% free to join, and it's like Facebook for tarot. So it's got all those wonderful features that you're used to with the big social media websites, only it's all tarot all the time and none of the negative stuff like you get on some of these other social media platforms that we won't need. And it's the address once again is thetarotguild.com. You got to get the in there, so it's thetarotguild.com. Come over and join for free over there. I do got a special going as well for spring. And I don't know if you've seen this, Dr. Rose. I got the spring sale out there.
Oh, no, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, well, I figured I'd do a special involving my course because, like we've been talking about all show long, take advantage of this time to do things.
Right.
One thing you could do is take a course. Well, if you want to learn tarot and numerology, I have a course that teaches you both side by side. It's called Tarot by the Numbers. You'll find it at thetarotguild.com /learn. Or if you're on the website, thetarotguild.com, just click anywhere you see. Actually, my mind just blanked there. It's been a while since I looked at the quick links. It says Learn Tarot with an exclamation point. Yeah. So you'll find that on the main page, and most of the pages have the quick links. Join the guild, learn tarot, get your tarot certification, and, of course, about the radio show, Tarot Today Radio. But if you click on Learn Tarot or just type in thetarotguild.com /learn, it'll take you over to where you can read about my course, Tarot by the Numbers. And what I decided to do for the spring sale is if you go to that page and enroll in my course, I'm also going to give you membership in the Tarot Guild free. And that's a $78 value, by the way, because it's $78 a year or $9.97 a month to join the guild. And so you're going to get your membership in the guild, and you're also going to get your tarot certification at the first level, Certified Tarot Reader, CTR, we call it. You're going to get your certification free, too. So you're going to get your membership and your certification free when you enroll in my course. And my course originally was $297, and I regularly sell it on the website now for, it was $197. But I dropped it down to $78, which is the number of cards. So for a fraction of its original cost, you can go and enroll for $78. And for those listening only to our show, if you want to do 2 payments, I'll even let you do that. But you have to contact me. You have to contact me through Facebook or send me an email, dax@thetarotguild.com. and let me know that you want to break it up into 2 payments. And we'll do it that way. But that's only for listeners to the show. You won't find that on the website. That's a special thing I'm doing just for you guys if you want to break it up into 2 payments. But it's $78, and you're also going to get your Tarot Guild membership and your certification for free. And that's another $78 value there. So that's what I'm doing for spring. And, as we're stuck in this health crisis, Rose, I didn't want to call it the coronavirus sale, or something like that. So,
yeah.
Even though that's what it's aimed at, so that people can enroll in the course and also get their membership and everything like that. Remember, it's 100% free to join the Tarot Guild's website. If you just want to come over and hang out and take advantage of all the social media special features, the friending and the private messaging and groups and we have all the stuff you find on Facebook. on thetarotguild.com. It's 100% free to join. You just click at the top of the page, and just put in your information, and you can even join with your social media. One button, push Facebook, push Twitter, Google. We have a whole bunch of ones where you can just use your social media account to join the website itself. But to join the guild, that's a separate thing, and certification and the course. I didn't want to call it the coronavirus sale, so I decided, well, hey, we just had our first day of spring. We'll call it the spring sale. So there you go. You'll find that on the website there. Awesome sauce. And, the other thing I wanted to mention, Rose, is you remember over the last several weeks I've been saying that, you can book a private reading with me by going to my page, thetarotguild.com/Dax. thetarotguild.com/Dax. You can book a session with me. It's $97. You also get your full numerology report and chart included with that. But I've been telling everybody, I normally charge $197 for my hypnosis sessions, life coaching, NLP. And I've been telling everybody since the beginning of the year that you can go on my page and book a reading for the 97 and then just contact me and let me know what you actually want is a hypnosis session. And we'll do a hypnosis session over Zoom or Skype or the phone. And it's only going to cost you half price. It's going to be the cost of a reading, $97 instead of $197. And I just wanted to put out there that this is a great time to take advantage of that. Like I was saying earlier about the smoking. People want to quit smoking.
Right.
Or anything else you want to work on, but especially that one. I specialize in that. And the thing about it is, this is the best time to quit, folks. My God, you're never going to have another opportunity where you're stuck at home for weeks and you're not having the normal social triggers. It's going to make it so much easier for you to quit. Absolutely.
Right.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. Go over to thetarotguild.com/Dax and hit the book a reading. And just let me know, hey, I don't really want a reading. I want to do a hypnosis session. Of course, if you do want a reading, we'll do both. How about that for a special? Okay. Using a couple more calls. I know we're over time. It's 12:08 on my clock here. And let's see who's been waiting the longest. Oh, my God, patiently waiting. They've been here for a while. Area code 760. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi there, it's Gigi, and I'm calling from California.
Hi, Gigi.
Hi, Gigi.
Hi there. Enjoyed
I'm
both
in Cali
of you.
too.
Thank you. I'm sorry?
Oh, I was saying I'm in California too.
Oh, wonderful. Yes, you're up in the part of the state where my son just graduated from.
Oh, congratulations. Wonderful.
Yeah. I know. I'm so proud of him. Thank you. So my question today is, because I know we're running short on time, is about I just find myself today after being laid off with a blank canvas of opportunities for my next step, and I would like to know what the cards say about that in terms of looking for the right fit and finding it.
Okay, I got everything except for the very last thing you said. There's a lot of noise on your line. You said, can you say the last sentence again? Because I'm sorry, I just totally missed that.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna take it off speaker. Is that better?
Oh yeah. Oh my God, that is so much better. Yeah.
Sorry
you said something about the next
Yes.
something, and then you broke up, and I couldn't make out what you were saying.
Okay, no problem. So I'm wanting to, connect with the right fit, the right career opportunity, and I was asking what the cards might have to say about that. I have a blank canvas at the moment.
Awesome. And, God, I'm not getting something specific. Let me see if I can. Okay, I'm going to work on that, but I'm going to go with what I've got so far here, Gigi, is that, yes, absolutely. First card, Ace of Wands. New opportunity, career, following your passion.
Nice.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to take advantage of this blank canvas thing, and especially, you really got to get in touch with what your true passions are. And, it's like I was trying to get something a little more specific. Who knows, I might catch something in a minute here. But what I'm mostly getting is that the secret, and, this is no miraculous thing with the cards, right, Rose? I've said this over and over again on the radio shows, that you tune in to what your real passion is and just go with that. And what I mean is that you're going to develop something in the idea of a career or a business or both. And the way it works is, it's very simple, is you're going to, within the confines of what you're passionate about, what comes up for you, within those confines, you're going to solve a problem for other people and create value that way. And so they're going to pay you to solve that problem. And because it's an open canvas, like you said, don't go for the little problems. Go for the big problem. Something that there's a demographic of a lot of people. For me, it's quit smoking. I help people quit smoking. I can charge a lot of money for that. In fact, it's about $600, and I don't sell for that kind of thing. I don't sell individual sessions. I sell a solution. $600, you will quit smoking. Typically on the first session. But we're going to have another one. And if it requires another one, and if it requires 6 sessions, I don't care, because my goal is you quit smoking. I am selling a solution. I'm selling the answer to a problem. I am not selling my service as a hypnotist. And no one should do that. I don't care if you're a Reiki master. I don't care if you're a numerologist. I don't care if you're a massage therapist. I don't care what the modality is, energy healing, EFT practitioner. I could go on life coaching. I could go on for an hour with all, naming all the modalities, and people love to do that. I cringe sometimes because people hand me their business card, and it says, Jane Austen, certified Reiki master, certified life coach, certified hypnotherapist, certified. She lists all. She's listing all of her modalities. They don't care.
Yeah.
Your clients don't give a what. They want to know that you can solve their problem.
Right.
That's
well,
all.
I think it's
they
more
don't care.
powerful.
They don't care how you do it.
It's more powerful. Yeah. It's more powerful to say, this is what I can do for you. It doesn't matter how many initials you might have next to your name, or what program you went through, or how you're certified and what you're certified in. I've felt that way for the longest time. And people always wanted to kind of put me in a corner and say, you're this. And I always have said, no, I use tools to get to the solution. And whatever tools those are that I'm guided to use, I use them.
And the very next card I get is the 10 of Pentacles. Material gain, and establishment of trying to think of how to describe this. It's a card of financial stability, emotional stability, family, genealogy, inheritance. It's leaving a legacy. So this is the opportunity for you to figure out what this is, get this going, and create a legacy, and also immense abundance in your life. That's what the Ten of Pentacles is. Also, there's other factors like the Nine of Cups shows up, which is literally, cups is water. It's the emotion element. And the Nine of Cups is traditionally the wish card in tarot. It's the wish come true. Okay, so in other words, it will not only financially and abundance-wise, but it will allow you to be more emotionally fulfilled as well, because you're giving immense value to your client, whatever it is the problem that you're going to end up figuring out how to solve. And you want to really niche it down. You want to know who is your best client. How can you niche that down? I'll tell you how, like I've done it. You create your elevator speech. You're on the elevator. Hey, what do you do? Oh, well, I help veterans that smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day for the last 30 years to quit in one session. So I've niched it down to, not everybody in the world, to veterans that smoke a lot and they give it up in a day, because that's the wish of everybody that's smoking that much. And I focus on veterans because they are one of the most at-risk groups of people. Active duty military and veterans smoke at a rate double the national average, you see. Yeah. So for you, you're going to want to find out, first of all, what is my passion? By the way, I got something on that because the Six of Cups came up after the Nine of Cups.
Oh, please,
Six of Cups
please tell me.
The Six of Cups is the nostalgia card. Oh, right. So the very first card, Ace of Wands, new opportunity. Yes, you got that clean slate. Yes, go for it. And the Wands is fire energy. It is passion. So it's following your passion. And this card, the Six of Cups, is telling you to look way back for the clues on this. I mean, like 7 years old, 5 years old, 6 years old, maybe 8, 9, 10, but, probably 7 or younger. The things that really lit up your eyes, that you were really passionate about. Within the nostalgia of your past, you're going to find out what the passion is that you should be framing this around. And then once you have that, take a deep breath and refocus. Okay, now, what problem that's huge that there's a lot of people have, because you don't want to fix a problem that only 5 people in the entire world have. You want to look for the big one, and solve that problem. How do I solve that problem? So now you got your homework cut out for you.
Exactly. I think I do have my homework cut out for me, and I do think I would like to connect offline, because you have definitely hit the heart of the matter. So I may need a little bit more assistance in getting to connecting with that real root. And it's so interesting. The first number you said was 7 years old, and that is my first memory of being connected to the divine. So. Oh,
awesome. And, that's what I really like to do, is I like to work with entrepreneurs, and especially spiritual entrepreneurs or healing entrepreneurs like myself, and help them, get their businesses going. If their business is going, help them grow their business. That's what I really like doing the most. I mean, I'll I'll sit down and do a life coaching session, hypnosis, or do a tarot reading, numerology on anything, but I really get the most joy out of doing sessions with people that are, really creating value for other people, solving problems for people, and trying to, create a wonderful, abundant business for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And you can contact me through my page. It's thetarotguild.com/Dax. All of my contact information is on there, Facebook and emails and everything. It's all there at thetarotguild.com/Dax. Yeah.
Okay, Dax. Yeah, thank you. Thank you both.
Thanks for the call, Gigi.
My pleasure. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Wow, that was a great one, Rose. What did you think?
Yeah, it was. It was wonderful. I like all the coaching that you provided.
At the end there, what popped in my head as I was talking about, I love working, preferably, my most joy is with entrepreneurs, especially spiritual entrepreneurs. And what popped in my head is you. Because we've done some life coaching sessions together in the past, and I thought of Dr. Rose, when I was saying that to Gigi.
We've been having that same conversation, Gigi.
Yes, we have. I mean, almost identical. It's like, what problem you're solving, what's your real passion, not what you think you should be doing, but what you really want to do, or at least, what area you really want to work in, and then narrow things down from there. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So you want to take one more call? Remember, if we don't get to your call today, Mary and I will be on tomorrow with Tarot Today Radio. We're doing that segment on the coronavirus. Let us know, Mary or I, if you have anything you want us to ask the tarot in relation to the health crisis that we're going to do in that Psychic Spin segment. But we are still doing open lines and taking your calls for mini readings tomorrow, too. So if we don't get your call today, but what do you think, Rose? Should we take another one?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep, another.
Let's see who's been waiting the longest. Looks like area code 203. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name's Pat. I'm in Connecticut.
Hi, Pat.
Hi. I'm actually surprised I got on.
Got through there, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes I get disconnected, which happened today. So I thought, I'm never going to get on. Have to call back. Anyway, thank you. I have a question regarding my son and his young family who's living in New York City and for a number of reasons have decided to leave within 2 weeks. Just wondering how can I best help them, which might even mean staying out of their business. But go ahead.
I'm sorry? No, we were just listening. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we were just sitting here listening. I'm sorry, did you end there or something? Can you back up and re-say that again?
Yeah, I thought Rose started to talk, so I stopped. Just my son is leaving New York City for a number of reasons, including the virus. They have a 2-year-old child. Just how can I help them? Yeah, well, it seems to be the right thing, I think. Hard, because they're leaving everything and going to uncertainty. But how can I help them facilitate this? And it may even mean just staying out of their business. But I'd love to go in and help them pack up and help them put stuff in storage or anything, but I don't know what's best for them.
No, they're going to be balancing a lot of things. That's coming up as the main focus here, And so any ideas, I got cards, a lot of swords cards talking about ideas and swords as ideas, information, thoughts, And the main thing is also talking about not getting so entangled that it keeps you up at night, okay?
Yes, that definitely is affecting me.
Right. And then the Ten of Swords is showing up. That's the end of a cycle, beginning of a new cycle. And it's a very apropos card right here in this situation with your son. You know, there's definitely starting a new cycle. You know, big change here. What their life was before completely ending, and a whole new one starting. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. It's just this card shows up to indicate, you know, there's a lot of cards that can show up about change, but this one is specifically comes up because the tarot wants you to know that this is a real ending in this situation. Do you live in the city with them in the same area?
No.
Or?
No, through train and subways, it's about a 3-hour trip. So,
right,
you know,
right.
I've lost all my work, so I'd be happy to go in and help. I think
that's great. That's great, but I'm concerned myself about you traveling in. You know, it's like traveling into the lion's den in order to, you know, it's like the fireman going into the burning building, which he could die, but he's going in there to, you know, pull the people out. However, you know, this is not that situation. This is the same situation. You know, literally going into, you're taking your life in your own hands, going into New York City. Anybody is at this moment. You know, you could catch this thing. Doesn't mean it's going to kill you. It only, you know, bad cases of it is only 5%. You know, they've blown this thing way out of proportion.
Yeah.
I'll go more into it on tomorrow's radio show. You know, but it's like it's the same kind of situation as running into the burning building. The big difference is that when the fireman goes into the burning building, that it's because that person really needs help. They can't get out themselves. Whereas in this case, it's different. In this case, your son can and his family can handle this. Instead, you should be giving them the intellectual and emotional comforting and ideas. I keep getting these cards, ideas. Give them thoughts and ideas. Talk things over the phone with them. You know, it's like, okay, you know, what are your plans? And, you know, what could we do? And they're gonna need somebody that's on the outside looking in, a third party perspective, you see? And that's a lot more valuable than you going over there and filling a couple of boxes after a 3-hour drive into the place that is literally, you know, epicenter of the crisis right now. You know, that's what's showing up in the cards. That's what the cards want you to know.
Okay.
And then afterwards, after they're out of there, now the situation is different. Now you can help them with this balancing act that they're going to have to do.
Okay.
The central focus card of this whole reading is the Two of Pentacles, which is about balancing the logistics and the finances and all of that. You know, you can give them more help once they've extricated themselves from the situation. You see, and they're on the outside of the city. Yeah. Meanwhile, just you know, communicate a lot. Ask them what the problems are. Let's see if we can problem solve. You know, you might call them up and they're saying, okay, these are a couple of things, and then you may turn around and call other friends and relatives and say, hey, you know, this is what's going on with my son. You got any ideas about this? You got any ideas about that? You know, you be the idea person on the outside without physically going into the city. Does that make sense?
Okay. It does make sense, and I actually have given them some ideas. They're so stressed. That's a part of their relationship. No, it's a part of their relationship that communication is very, very seldom. So I do talk when I can. And he just told me today they'll be gone in 2 weeks. I was wanting to send them some supplements and things to help them if they get the actual virus. Anyway, thank you for that. Can you just tell me how the wife views me? I try not to step on toes. I mean, I don't step on toes, but I'm just always wondering how she sees me and if it's improving. I'm hoping it's improving.
Well, I think it is. Now, in general, just for everybody listening out there, I don't typically look at things like that. What is somebody else thinking of me, or even worse, third party, where it's like, okay, there's this other person that's a third party, and what do they think about this person over here? Typically it's like, what do they think of my son or daughter? And we call that psychic peeping Toming. We don't like doing that. I like anybody that I'm reading into their lives, I want them present in the reading itself. The other way I handle this kind of thing is I typically go, okay, let's see what you need to know about the situation, and then that way we're dealing about your life and your feelings and what you should do versus the third party.
Right.
However, that all that said, now I did pull a straightforward card on exactly what you asked, and I got the Queen of Cups. She's starting to see you more as the Queen of Cups. Somebody that has empathy, healing abilities, intuitive, imaginative, artistic, affectionate. These are some typical aspects of the Queen of Hearts. Harmonious merging of interests, power rooted in the emotions. It's the Queen of Cups, and cups is, again, water, emotions, things like that. I think she's coming around to seeing you more that way and having more respect for your intuition, feeling that you have more empathy than she originally thought you had for her and her situation.
Okay.
So that's looking very positive, Jessica.
That's good, and you're absolutely right. My question is absolutely about me and how I can be on my own without expectations. Yes, thank you so much. That's helpful. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
and everybody, please stay well. Stay well.
Yeah,
lots of vitamin C.
Well.
Lots of vitamin C and zinc and elderberry.
That's right.
Awesome.
That's right. Keep that
Thank
immunity up.
Tips, Pat.
You take care, Pat. Yeah.
Be well.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend. The big one I wanted to mention was water. The reason why viruses seem to show up in winter is because we're dehydrated and dried out. And whereas other pathogens prefer the moisture, these types of pathogens get in and are attracted via the dry, throat and nasal and all that kind of thing. Remember that this virus doesn't cause a runny nose. Similar coronaviruses cause colds, and you get the runny nose and everything like that. And you may or may not get the headache, kind of thing. And so what you want to do, you in any case, you want to drink a lot of fluids, but in this case especially, keep yourself moisturized all the time. Drinking lots and lots of fluids, especially water, lots and lots of water. So, the membranes in your mouth and your throat and everything stays moist. Keep it that way. And another trick that goes along with that, Dr. Rose, is to take a few sips out of your bottle of water at least every 15 minutes. Because what's going on with that is, let's say you did get some of the virus into your mouth or your throat. By continuously keeping it moisturized with the water, but also the frequency of every once in a while, sip, 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 sip. You're flushing it down into the stomach where it's destroyed by the stomach acids, and not giving it time to crawl into the back and up into the nasal passages where it that's where it festers and grows, multiplies, and then spreads into the bloodstream and into the rest of the body. And so that's another clue. What you should be doing. Lots and lots of water. Always have a bottle or glass of water next to you. You empty it, you fill it back up again. Constant. This has to be constant, and taking sips, every 5 or 10 minutes, at least every 15 minutes, And you're sequestered at home. It's not as big of a crisis situation, but like with Pat's son and family, and they're going to be moving around and coming out of the house and things like that, that's when you really got to be doing it. Really, really got to, because it's a preventative measure. You're not going to get the virus, and if it gets into your mouth or your throat, it's not going to stay there. You're going to wash it down into the stomach, and it thrives on this, dry mouth and throat thing. So don't let your mouth and throat get dry. Don't let it get dry. So there you go.
One other thing, really quickly. I was watching the Dr. Fauci, who's like the leading doctor with a lot of the daily, updates in terms of the coronavirus. He's been doing these things on Instagram with, is it Curry, one of the basketball players who's asking questions, and also on the Daily Show, Trevor Noah's Daily Show. And so one of the things that he was talking about, because, some people are saying you have to, if you receive a package from Amazon, you have to douse it down and disinfect it and all before you touch it. And he said, well, yeah, to a certain degree, the virus can live on cardboard a little bit longer. He said, but mostly what's happening, this is how it's being spread, is that people are sneezing or coughing into their hand and they shake somebody's hand. Or they're very close to someone who has the virus, and it's kind of like, hanging in the air like aerosol. And then someone, is breathing it in. So places like New York City and places that are very crowded and whatnot, there's a large impact because, think about all the people on the trains and subways and, in cars and buses and all that kind of stuff. So it can spread easily. So basically he was talking about that's how it's mostly getting spread. And just wash your hands. So try not to go overboard. Because I know I was wiping down, stuff I was buying from the store. And he was like, that's not necessarily how it's spread. It's it's possible, but really it's just washing your hands a lot and just protecting yourself from being the social distancing, that kind of thing. Don't cough into your hand and touch somebody, that kind of just those kind of things, like the common cold, the flu, kind of thing. Yeah.
I mean,
simple things that we can do.
This is stuff that we should have been doing anyway. That because it's flu season, and the flu kills infinitely more people than this virus does. Infinitely. I can bring it up right here. I actually put a button on my browser to bring up the COVID stat. And okay, let's look. Worldwide, the number of deaths, 26,909 deaths. Yes, that's a tragedy. However, 10 times that number have already died from flu this season. Regular, ordinary, every year flu. Let's look at the total number of cases worldwide. Why don't we? 587,000 plus. 587,000. Sounds like a big number. However, 100 times that number of cases is the number of cases we've had of the flu in the United States so far. So it's 587,000 cases worldwide, across the entire world, all 199 countries that are reporting. of the coronavirus, whereas just in the United States, we've had close to 60 million cases. 100 times the amount of the coronavirus. So this is something we should be doing. Infinitely more people have died. How many people have died in the United States? Let me scroll down here. Yeah, it's tragic. We've lost 1,500, but also so far this year we've lost 16,000 people to the flu. So these things of, social distancing, not hugging and kissing and shaking hands when you meet people, not sneezing on each other. If you have symptoms, stay home. Wash your hands a lot. You use the sanitizer. I have hand sanitizer in my car. So you were talking about the surfaces, like you go to Walmart or whatever, pick something up. Well, I do the hand sanitizer. I go in the store. I come out with the stuff. I put it on the back seat. I do the hand sanitizer again. Then I go inside with it, and I wash my hands. And then I do the hand sanitizer again. The likelihood of you getting anything from a carton of this or a bag of that or whatever you're getting at the store, that you're carrying, it's 1 in a billion that you're going to get this virus from a physical object. It's more that somebody's going to sneeze into their, own hand or something and then shake your hand 10 minutes later, and they don't have the courtesy to go in and wash their hands.
Yeah, and when people sneeze, they've done pictures of just how much that spreads. That's why they're saying 6 feet. That
stuff
can really travel. It travels fast too.
But
just some of the practical stuff that we're talking about. Yeah,
but it also dissipates a lot faster than people are thinking. I'm sorry, but it's not floating in the air for 45 minutes. It's
no.
Couple of minutes, 5 minutes tops, whatever. The likelihood you're getting it from that is also extremely small, unless you're in a subway. Yeah. So a lot of the infections in New York City happened a week or 2 or 3 before cases in New York City. People were passing around at each other on the subway and in the crowded places, But, if I'm out at a restaurant or the American Legion Post, a bar or something like that, you're not going to get it that way. You're going to get it from being right next to them and they sneeze on you, or shaking hands, things like that. And as long as even if they do that, as long as you go and wash your hands, you're going to be okay, And that's why I say a lot of this is over.
Well, I think it is, and I'm not, one to totally agree upon that. We could go on forever to talk about that, but this is a new thing, and they need more time to really adjust. In places that are being hard hit, we have to self-quarantine. And there's just no doubt about it. And people who have compromised systems especially have to do that. And even with me, in terms of the flu, I get the flu shot every year. And I know I have people who say, oh, it didn't work, blah, 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 blah. But I'm telling you, I have a compromised system, so I can't play around with that kind of stuff. So, the flu shot doesn't do anything to me other than to help, hopefully, build my immunity or whatnot. We just don't have that for the coronavirus. This is a new thing. And there are a lot of people that are suffering from that. And like you said, we should be doing this anyway in terms of the flu season and washing your hands and whatnot. But it's good to, in areas where it's highly concentrated, people, we need to do the self-quarantine to slow things down. It's really about slowing down the number of people who are, new people who are getting infected with us. It's possible because it's really king, and if you just tell people, oh, go back and do whatever you want to, and it's just gonna get worse. So they're trying to slow things down so that the hospitals can catch up. So they have the hospital beds and ventilators, whatever else that they need,
especially in the hard hit areas,
in order to deal with the impact of it, because they can't. It's already here. It's already spreading. You can't stop that part, but you can slow it down to a certain degree.
Well, where I am. Where I am at, it's just not impacted here. It's not getting spread socially here. And most places in the country, that's the case. It's if you look at the list, I have the list in front of me, every case and every death in every state,
right?
All 50 states, and I analyze it and look at it, and the majority don't have this, you see, and that's what I'm talking about. I think it's overkill in certain areas, in the epicenters, they're going to have to stay locked down for months, but other places not so much, because if you're doing the social distancing, if you're doing the washing of hands and things like that, people are just going to be fine because viruses work on a bell curve. And
That's right.
And talking about the God, my mind just blanked. What was it you were talking about? The injection? What the hell? The
flu shot kind of thing. The vaccine or whatever.
The vaccines. Yeah. Don't be worrying about vaccines and things like that. Even if they were able to come up with the vaccine tomorrow, they have to produce it, people. They're not going to be able to produce 331 million flu shots, or, in this case, it would be corona shots. I don't know. COVID shots. They're not going to be able to produce it fast enough for it to have any effect. By the time they would produce it and inject it into everybody in the United States, it's over. It's a bell curve. It goes up, it comes down, it's gone.
Yeah, but you know what? They're also talking about how it happens seasonally. So, because, like flu season is seasonal, right? Okay, we're in the flu season now, so the flu season, so it goes up and then it does the curve and it dissipates, but then there's the fall. They'll come back. So I think in terms of the vaccination for that part, that might help in terms of that situation. But we could go on forever about this, and
but a lot of people are not. That's not what they're talking about, though. A lot of people are talking about, we got to get the flu shot. I keep calling it the flu shot. The vaccination for
the vaccine,
COVID-19. We got to get it now. We got to get it now. And it's like, no, it ain't going to do anything. You're never going to be able to get enough shots. We can't get enough tests to test people for it, let alone create a vaccine. It's not going to happen, people. I don't even think we're going to have it out by the next flu season.
Oh no! It's it takes them a while to create something like that. It takes them a few months. Mm. They have to test it too, like you said. So
and also anyway, on top of that, don't forget they morph. They morph. They constantly mutate. That's why the flu shot doesn't work for most people. And you know how people, you were saying how people tell you, oh no, I don't think the flu shot doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work for a lot of people, and the reason is because by the time they've made the this year's shot against this particular strain, it's ineffective.
That's true, but
sometimes it's effective. Sometimes it is.
We do want to remember, Jack. I totally understand, and people have to make their own choices about that. But we do want to, if your medical professional is telling you to get a flu shot or whatever happens with the coronavirus vaccine or whatever. If your medical professional, your doctor is telling you to do that, please follow those directions. Because I'm of a different nature and a different belief of it, and that's fine. And it's totally up to you. You are a human being. You have free will. But please make sure that you pay attention to your medical professionals that are out there that are talking about, what's happening and, practice the social distancing, washing your hands and things of that nature.
You got to do all that.
Just please do that. And take care of yourselves, everybody. Yeah.
Do the social distancing, let's take care of everybody, and what you want to individually do with your own medical situation is completely up to you. I mean, they tell Doug every year he has to get the flu shot because he's immune compromised. He refuses to do it because the one time that he took the flu shot, it gave him the flu and he almost died. He will never do it again. And I won't either. I just don't. I have never taken a flu shot, and I don't get the flu.
It that happens to some people, and then other people they need to take it. So we're not doctors, we're not medical professionals. I want to just make sure that we're being
not giving any advice.
Clear on that.
I'm not giving advice. I'm just saying that this is what I do. Yeah. And, don't necessarily jump on the bandwagon and believe everything you hear about everything. I'm just saying, it's just like the fear mongering coming out of the media right now is ridiculous. It's a virus like the flu. It's going to go up on the bell curve. It's going to come down. It's going to be gone. It's going to come back later on, and it's going to do it again. But it's not this thing where they're making out like it's a manufactured pathogen, like in those movies, like the one with Dustin Hoffman, Outbreak and everything, where everybody that gets it dies and they bleed out of their eyes, like in Ebola and all that.
Yeah, it's not the Ebola virus. We know that.
I mean, I heard the fear mongering on the news last night. The guys, it's like we've lost this war, but we might be able to come back. And I'm like, what do you mean we've lost this war? We haven't lost anything. This virus only kills a tiny percentage of the people that get infected. This is not one of these scary things you see in the movies where everybody that gets it, 98% die. It's a bell curve. I don't care if you do anything. It's going to be gone. It's going to be gone. It may take weeks.
Yeah.
But it's going to be gone. It's a bell curve. So don't get, my message to people is don't get freaked out. Don't sit there for hours on hours watching the news, getting freaked out.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That it's the end of the universe.
You can still go outside and you can still go outside and get some fresh air. Just as we said, practice the social distancing, and you should be okay. Wash your hands a lot, and do that. Take care of yourselves, everybody.
I'm glad we had the conversation, though, and it's been, a really fun show. We're actually going to be continuing this conversation on tomorrow's show because that's what we're doing in the Psychic Spin. So I hope you'll all join Mary and I. Absolutely. And thanks so much. It was so much fun talking to you, and great calls today as well.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful.
Awesomeness. All righty,
we'll see
everybody.
Next week.
We'll see you next week, and I want to thank all of our callers and listeners. It was a ton of fun. Bye, Rose.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye, Dax.